Thank you, Chairman Maloney, and thank you, Admiral, for being here today. Short sea shipping, especially along our nation's rivers, is vitally important in my district in West Virginia. The Huntington Tri-State Port is one of the largest inland water ports. It was the largest till Cincinnati got dredged, if I remember correctly. But it ships over 80 million tons of cargo every year. That's 80 million tons of natural resources reaching domestic and foreign markets, creating jobs and driving our economy. Our waterways are essential for efficiently shipping our products and staying competitive in the global markets. This is a little bit like Congressman Gibbs' question, but what steps can Congress take to promote maritime careers for hardworking Americans?
Well, you know, we are, thank you for the question, and it's a great one because it really speaks to the workforce issue, which is a big focus of mine. And traditionally, MARAD has really focused at the state maritime academies and Kings Point, our federal maritime academy. We are increasingly looking lower now. We're looking at deeper into our educational system down to the high school level. Maritime-focused high schools, at community colleges. We're getting ready to fire off the Domestic Center of Maritime Excellence program. We'll be coming out with the advertisement for that for comment here very shortly. But we really see that as the generator of a maritime workforce, especially for the inland sector, the Jones Act sector, becoming so much more important in the future. As we see growth on our maritime highways, we need to kind of get ahead of that, if you will. And I think through increased focus in our at our high school level, and I've asked all of my state maritime academy presidents to reach out in their regions to start interfacing with those folks, to start, you know, getting it known that maritime education and maritime careers, both ashore and afloat, are really going to be vital to our nation, and they're good-paying jobs. You'll be able to raise a family on them.
I'm glad to hear you say that because there's much more focus on career and technical happening now, and so I think that would be wonderful. What are the biggest regulatory burdens or unfair taxes imposed on maritime shipping industry that keep it from competing with trucking and rail?
Well, we talked about the harbor maintenance tax and the fact that that's kind of a double jeopardy thing. You know, that has to probably ultimately be addressed at some point. I'm not sure how that's going to go. It's you know, but that has been raised repeatedly as an issue. We hear it from industry. It's been made to work in some places, but depending on the market, depending on the commodity, depending on the circumstances, it can be more of a challenge to keep those programs moving forward. I think that's probably the biggest thing.
The Maritime Highway System includes the section of the Ohio River that connects my district to the rest of the country. How has the program expanded since its enactment, and how can Congress continue to help the Maritime Administration promote maritime highways?
We've designated 25 marine highway routes, and that really covers most of the navigable waterways. We may have a couple yet to go, but I think I think we have one that's under consideration actually right now by the Secretary. But we've done a pretty good job, I think, of covering the navigable waters. But, you know, there may be others, and, you know, we'll certainly look for, you know, nominations of those designations, because that's the basis of the program. You have to have the highway in order to support the project. So once the highway is there, the project can then go forward. And that project designation then enables it to be considered for grant funding based on the merits of the program. And, you know, I think that will continue to grow. I mean, every year we see more programs being requested for designation, and we're able to then consider more for grants. And that's, you know, we can spread the funding that we get a little bit broader every year with the broader grants, with the broader programs.
Okay, thank you. Are the Navy and the Coast Guard continuing to find more effective ways to see that their ship drivers are eligible to receive merchant mariner credentials after they leave the service?
Well, of course, we have the Military to Mariner program, which we continue to push forward on. Of course, the President passed the executive order a couple of months back that helped that process along. I know I can speak for the Navy, because my old service, that they have done a lot of effort to try and start cataloging the sea time and the actual coursework that's done during the course of an officer's career in order to make that transition, if they so choose to do it, much easier than it was just even a couple of years ago. So, answer to your question, yes, we are moving well in that direction. We will get some people that transition over. Unfortunately, most of the people that leave the Navy do so because they don't like the family separation, and coming into this line of work, you get a little bit more of that. But we do get naval officers and Coast Guard officers and Army officers, for that matter, that enjoy coming over in the Merchant Marine.
Okay, thank you. I yield back my time.
Thank you, lady.